Hello, welcome to this video. This is a video where we'll begin to write SQL queries. We want to learn how to combine two or more SQL clauses and see how the result is being returned. So again, this is my SQL workbench opened. I have the Chinook database that was created by myself and a sys database. This is just a kind of database that comes with my SQL workbench. It's just there for practice purposes. Okay, so because I have two databases here, if I want to begin to query from this particular database called Chinook, for instance, I would have to right click on the database and set as default schema. Now, if you don't do this, whenever you have multiple databases on your schema navigator, before you can refer to that database, you have to reference it again and again, right? Before you can refer to it, you have to reference that database again and again. So let me come to this second tab. When I say referencing, this is what I mean. For instance, you are selecting all from Chinook database invoice. So you can see that I have to reference Chinook underscore db dot invoice items. This is what referencing the database means. So if I run this query, let's run the query. How do you run the query? You run the query by hitting this kind of power sign button to execute. And once you execute, you see your output displayed right here. Let's execute the query. As you execute, this is the output, and here's the login part of the output. So it returns the values of the table containing the invoice items, and under the invoice items, there are about 5 columns: invoice line ID, invoice ID, track ID, unit price, and quantity. Now, if I should remove this database without referencing the database, let's cut it out, Ctrl X. And then when you attempt to run this query, this is what it tells you. It says error code 1046, no database selected. Select the default DB to be used by double clicking. Okay, so that is what happens whenever I have multiple databases. If it was just one database, then I wouldn't have gotten this error, the output to be returned immediately or exactly how it's supposed to be. But immediately I right click on Chinook and select set as default schema. Then once I run this query again, our output will be seen. You can see even without referencing the database, by calling Chinook underscore db dot invoice items, we have an output. That is because this is now the active database. You can see it is bold. You see bolding more than the other one. So that is how to activate or set your database as default in my SQL workbench, just in case you have more than one database or schema added to your schema list. Okay, let's get back to query one. This is where we want to begin running queries. So we've set our Chinook underscore db database as the active one. But before I even start querying from our Chinook database, remember in one of the videos when I was introducing the select statement, I said the select statement can also used as a standalone statement. That is when you want to use it to perform calculations. So I want to use SQL as my calculator. So I want to calculate, let's say 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is equal to, execute this query. It has given us an output of 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. So when you want to use SQL to just return something, an output, just use the select statement and then execute the output. If I want to print out, say, I am learning how to run queries, right? You wrap it inside the quote. This is a string. Now, if you should run this, SQL will execute it and just return your queries as I am learning how to run queries. So it has given me in a table format. Now, the name of the table is I am learning how to run queries, and the output is also I am learning how to run queries. So that is one way to use the select statement or select clause. Just the select clause as a standalone without querying from a database. So if you must query from a database, you have to use the select clause alongside the from clause before an output can be given from that particular database. Okay, let's do some more calculations before we continue, before we start exploring or querying from our database. So I want to, let's see if SQRT works. Okay, so that's a square root function. Oh, great. It's a square root function. Let's take the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is supposed to be 3, right? Let's run this query. And here we go. The square root of 9 is 3. So I want to have the square root of 9 minus 6. So that should give negative 6, right? As a negative 3 rather. And that is minus 3 as expected. Awesome. So you can just go ahead and use SQL syntax as or SQL as a calculator. It does basic calculations just like what a calculator would do. All you need to know is just know the different functions that exist right there, and then use your mathematical operations to perform as basic calculations. Awesome. So that is the select statement as or the select clause as a standalone statement in SQL. Now let us combine the select clause with the from clause. So first of all, I want to display. Let's expand this schema. I want to display all the records from the albums table. Let's see how to do that. Remember that the asterisk sign, the asterisk symbol, will help you display all columns. So once you select asterisk, it means select all from albums. So when you type albums, it gives you, pops it out. The IntelliSense pops you the full name of the albums. Select asterisk means select all the columns from albums. So once I run this query, we're expected to see all the columns. That is the album ID, title, and artist ID. Let's execute this query. I'm going to hit on this button to execute the query, and right away we have the table displayed. So let's just expand this more to see more results. So these are the albums in the albums. All albums are stored in the albums table, as you can see, as displayed. So with the album ID and the artist ID. If I'm only interested in selecting just the title column of this table, don't forget, all we need to do is just type in title, select title. So right, type it the way it is written on the table or the way it appeared on the table. Select title from albums. When you run this query, either you highlight and run, or you just run it without highlighting because it's just a single query on your query page. You would see that we've only displayed the title column, right? Just the title column. If I want to display the title column and the album ID, just go ahead and list with a comma, just as like I explained during the introduction part. So let's say we have ID, album ID, right? Let's run this query and see what output we get. Okay, I think I didn't spell this correctly. So it's actually, you see this symbol that comes to the album ID, it has to be with it, okay, just because of the way it's been entered. So if I should, let's see if I'm able to right. So now I can't actually display the symbol except I display all. Let's first display all. I'm going to comment this. So this is a comment. So but when you put double dash, it turns your query to comment. SQL we ignore this line when it's executing this query. I want to display all the records again so that I can copy the exact title. Let's just go ahead and copy this. So I'm going to copy field name. Now I need to show artist the title and the album ID. See the symbol? I don't even know what this is. It comes to the database like that. With this, it will return the title and then the album ID. You know, by default, the album ID comes before the title in the given database, but because of the way I arrange the order at which the select statement arrange the columns, that is the order at which it's going to give you the output. So here's the output of the title and the album ID from the albums table. Okay, great. Now let's see how to, remember we talked about how to query. Okay, let's query customers. Let's query all columns from the customers table, all from customers table. Okay, when I run this button, I hit the button to run. So this is the the results returned from that query. So I'm displaying all the records from the customers table, and it has all of this column. So if we want to see the record from customers table that are from Germany, for instance, remember we have to add the where clause. Select all columns from customers table where country equal to, in a quote, in a double quote or single quote, please don't forget to put that. Did I say Brazil or Germany? Let's do Germany. Where country equals Germany. close the brackets, and then hit the run button to run your query. So great. So this is the output. These are the customers that are from Germany. That is how to use the where clause. So you have to enter the title of, I mean, the columns you want to see here. You want to display all the columns, and we are picking this record from the customers table. We are only interested in those customers that are from Germany. What if we want to see those customers in Germany and the US? So I'm going to add the or, operator, or the or keyword with USA. So give me all the customers that are in Germany or USA. Now, if you have multiple queries on your page, you want to end each line or each query with a semicolon. Okay. Now run this query. This will return all customers that are from Germany or USA. Okay. I think I need to add one more. Don't just say or. I need to add where country equal to Germany or country equal to USA. So that is something that is missing, and that is why you're not seeing the other part of the query. I'll copy this and then add it here. So where country equal to Germany or country equal to USA. For readability, this can come to the next line, right? If you like, you can bring this to the next line. Let me take country to, sorry, or country equal to USA. So let's run this query, and then we're expected to see the results. So here's the result. You can see from country, we have all those customers from USA and Germany being displayed. If I want to see just a few columns and not just all the columns, I want to display just the customer ID. Let's go ahead and list it out. I want to display the customer ID, comma, the first name, comma, the last name, and the country of these customers that are from Germany or USA. When you hit the play button, then it shows you just these four columns that you've selected, written in the select statement. So these are the output from of those customers who are from Germany and USA. So this is how to write SQL query, or SQL query. Very simple. I believe you understand how to begin writing your queries. So yes, go ahead, go into the classroom and begin to explore, as there are a lot of queries right there that you would need to use to, learn how to run queries. All right, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Goodbye.